Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees for our today's Srimad Bhagavatam Bhakti Vaibhav class. So last week we were discussing from chapter 5 about the prayers of the instructions given by Lord Rsabhadev unto his 100 sons and all his citizens and the Brahmana community who are assembled at Brahmatirtha on the bank of Mother Ganga. And there, before you take on to Vanaprastha order or renounced order, he was giving his final instructions. So we are discussing about the importance of human form of life. The human body is so important that it is suitable. It is meant for practicing bhakti and attaining perfection. For devotees and practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and attaining Sayujya for the practitioners of Nishkama Karma and Jnana Yogas, etc. etc. So otherwise, one is bound in the cycle of repeated cycle of birth and death, the cycle of transmigration. That is also indicated. And then, in order to attain the highest perfection, there are two paths. One is the traditional yoga path, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Other one is Bhakti path. And there is a discussion about Bhakti Mishra Jnana and Jnana Mishra Bhakti. And in Bhakti Mishra Jnana, how they gradually develop detachment and renunciation from this material world, which is the source of misery. And in Jnana Mishra Bhakti, there are 25 items are mentioned. One need to practice all the 25 items systematically so that one will attain highest perfection. The very first among all the 25 items is taking shelter of Guru. So one should take shelter of Guru and follow the instructions of a Guru so that one attains perfection. And then there was a discussion about who is Guru, which person becomes qualified for becoming Guru. The first qualification of Guru is the Guru himself should be on the path of perfection. If one himself is not on the path of perfection, how can that person can instruct others about the path of perfection? So they should be serious about going back to Godhead, and so that they can instruct others also on the path back to Godhead. And last week we saw, this is the last verse, that not only Guru, of course, the example of Guru is given, and many other responsible positions in this world, they all also have a great responsibility. Whether one may be Guru or one may be a relative, family member, elder brother or something like that, relative, uncles, etc. One may be father, one may be mother, one may be one's worshipful deity, or one may be husband, especially husband in the sense for Mataji's husband, for Prabhuji's one's own master, whichever wherever one is. So basically, one who expects a respectable position, and that respectable position comes with a great responsibility. Nothing comes for free in this world. Respect comes with responsibility. If we only take the respect and don't not act according to the responsibility, we are guilty of this mistake. So that is the indication. We have seen that he who cannot deliver a person in samsara is not a guru, not a relative, not a father, not a mother, nor a devata or husband. The responsibility is to deliver one from the cycle of birth and death from samsara. The one who can only deliver one subordinate from the samsara, if one is on the path of delivering oneself from the cycle of samsara. That is the first qualification of Guru, is that Guru himself should be on the path of perfection. So then in relation to each and everything, there was examples were given. In relation to Guru, Bali Maharaj rejecting Shukracharya because Shukracharya not telling Bali Maharaj to surrender to Lord Vishnu. Instead, he's telling not to give charity to Vishnu, not to surrender to Vishnu. He rejected him. And Vibhishana rejected Ravana because Ravana telling you surrender unto me, not to Rama. And Prahlada rejected his father. And Bharat Maharaj rejected his mother Kaikeyi. Katvanga Maharaj rejected Indra, who was ready to give any benediction. The wives of the Brahmanas rejected their husbands because they were going to surrender to Krishna, but the husbands told, no, don't go, out of fear of Kamsa. So like that, some examples are given in relation to all these people. So there is another meaning to this also. He who cannot deliver another person should not take the position of guru, should not accept respect and reverence. If one does, one incurs sin. If one accepts the respect without executing one's responsibility, one accepts sin, one incurs sin. If one cannot deliver a person, one should not accept the person as a disciple just so that one becomes a guru. He should not accept friendship so that he becomes a friend. He should not produce children so that he becomes father. He should not bear a child so that one becomes mother. One should not accept worship to become a devata. One should not accept a wife in marriage to become husband. So these are all great responsibilities. It is not that okay, society mein hai humko ye sab chahiye. Not that. According to Shastra, according to Sri Lord Rsabhadevaś, Lord himself is saying that the respect in society comes with great responsibility. Nothing comes for free. So we cannot take things for granted and uh, leave behind. We understand that we should perform bhakti and mahaseva to achieve liberation. Whom should we worship and which mahat to serve? So the entire focus is that yeah, one need to surrender to Guru in order to understand what is bhakti, what is karma, jnana, yoga, etc. etc. And who can become Guru. And now the same question again. We understand that we should perform bhakti from the beginning. That is our main theme. And in order to attain bhakti, we need to do mahaseva. Mahaseva dwaram mahur vimuktes. Tamo dwaram yoshtam sangi sangam. So it's like that. Whom should we worship and which mahas to serve? So now, so I mean, please, you being our father, please guide us. Who is that great soul whose shelter we are supposed to take, accepting him as guru and then serve him, so that we can understand about bhakti and serve you in the future. So that was the question. So keeping that question in mind, in the next two verses, Lord Rsabhadeva responds. Idam shariram mama durvibhavyam Sattvam hime hrudayam yatra dharmaha prushte kruto me yad adharmarat ato himam rushabam prahurarya.
My transcendental body, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, looks exactly like a human form, but it is not a material human body. It is inconceivable. I am not forced by nature to accept a particular type of body, to take on a body by my own sweet. I take on body by my own sweet will. My heart is also spiritual, and I always think of the welfare of my devotees. Therefore, within my heart can be found the process of devotional service, which is meant for the devotees. Far from my heart have I abandoned irreligion or adharma and non devotional activities. They do not appeal to me. Due to all these transcendental qualities, people generally pray to me as Rsabhadeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all living entities.
In two verses, he said that one need to worship the Supreme Lord and one need to worship the devotee. So I am the Supreme Lord there in front of you, and the devotee whom you all of you are supposed to worship is your elder brother Bharat Maharaj. So both of them are there in your family only. You don't have to go anywhere searching for Mahatma, Mahat soul. So like that. He says that my body is difficult to understand. Idam mama shariram durvibhavyam. Idam shariram mama durvibhavyam. So since I am also there in the same family like all of you, you may think that I am also like you, but it is not that. I am the Supreme Lord. My body is transcendental. That way is telling that my body is difficult to understand since it is spiritual. Sattvam. Where there is bhakti, there my mind resides. Yatra dharma me hrudayam. What was that verse? I think Lord Vishnu speaking to Durvasa Muni or Narada Muni. Naham tishtami vaikunte yogina mrudayapiva yatra gayanti madbhakta tatra tishtami Narada. So Lord Vishnu speaking to Narada Muni that my dear Narada, I am not staying in the Vaikuntha abode, nor I am staying in the heart of the yogis. Where my devotees sing my glories, I am situated there. That is where I reside. So in that way, same way here, where there is bhakti, there my mind resides. Yata dharma me hrudayam. Whatever is opposed to bhakti, yad adharma, prushte kruto me, is behind me, far away. So there in the first canto we studied this, no? When Narada Muni instructs Srila Vyasadeva, please compile a Vedic literature consisting of the glories of the Supreme Lord, which are glorified again and again repeatedly. Then Vyasadeva goes into meditation. That meditation is the Supreme Lord with all his potencies and all his wonderful devotees surrounding him. And behind him, the Maya is situated, turning her face of other side. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranite amale apashyat purusham purnam mayam chatat apashrayam. So in the front side of the Lord, all his wonderful devotees, energies, and everyone is there. Behind the Lord, Maya is situated and Maya is turning her face away from the Lord. So like that. So where is opposite to wherever up is opposite, whatever is opposite to bhakti, it is situated behind me, far away. Arad. Thus, the respected people call me the best or Rishabha. People call me as Rishabha because this wherever bhakti is there, I am there. Wherever adharma is there, that adharma is situated behind me. And my transcendental form is difficult to be understood by people in general. These are the things. Recently, we were discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 here in Mandi. So it was like we were discussing that chapter 4 Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna asked the question, how do I understand that you spoke the same Bhagavad Gita to Sun God? He was born long back and we were born together. So there Lord Krishna says, Bahuni me veditani janmani tavat Arjuna, ham veta tarvani natvam veta parantapa. So you and me, both of us took births many times. I remember all of them, but you do not remember. Why? I remember all of them and you do not remember. Ajopisan aveyatma bhutanam ishwaropisan prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. प्रकृति स्वाम अधिष्ठाया स्वाम प्रकृति स्वयं प्रकृति का आधीन से भगवान का जन्म और का लीला सब योगमाया के आधार पर होता है बट हमारा जन्म और कर्म महामाया के आधार पर होता है देयर इज लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस बिटवीन दोस टू सो इन दैट वे लॉर्ड कृष्णा's form is transcendental is very difficult to understand not so easy so that's why Lord is called as Rishabha. So this is the question for which the answer is given in this verse. Where is the Lord to whom we should perform bhakti and where is the devotee whom we should serve in order to attain bhakti? It is the devotee gives us what is bhakti. By serving bhakti, we should worship the Supreme Lord. So where are these two people? Where we can do this? This is the essence of human life. So where I can get that? And now will I engage in the service of the Supreme Lord? So in that way.
Hare Krishna.
Ah, Mataji.
Prabhuji, it is said now like that Rsabhadeva is not the incarnation of the Lord, he is the Lord himself. I read somewhere. So, but generally we see that when we talk about Krishna, who is Lord himself, there is so much of a glorification and so much of a respect emerges in our heart. But when with about Rishabdeva, we don't know that much, or it is not that glorified. Or some people, general devotee crowd only. I'm saying those who are beginners and all, they will not even know about Rishabdeva. So why it is?
We will discuss that in the 6th chapter. It will come.
Okay.
Maybe today or maybe next week, but it is there. We will discuss that maybe after 10th verse. There is a elaborate discussion about that.
Okay.
Why?
Thanks.
Yeah, you asked a correct question, but we will discuss then.
Okay. Thank you.
So when the question is asked that where is the devotee and where is the Lord? So Lord Siddha replying that there is not even little effort for you, since in your house the Lord exists as I, your father, and the devotee exists as your brother Bharata. So this is mentioned in 2 verses. So the Lord is establishing that how he is Lord. My body is difficult to understand since it is made up of knowledge and bliss, Satchidananda Swarupa, and it is not a material body like that of a human being. It is hard to understand that my body is spiritual substance, whereas others have bodies of material substance, such as earth, which is not hard to understand. When we say that all of our human bodies are made up of earth element, it is easy. But when somebody says that Lord Rsabhadeva's body is made up of spirit, it is very difficult to understand because he is also moving one among others, and his body also looks similar to others' body. So everyone would accept that his body is also made up of earth. If somebody said that no, his body is not made up of earth, he is made up of spirit, it is very difficult to understand. So in that way, my mind exists certainly where there is bhakti yoga. It is said that Sadhava Hrudaya Mayam, the devotees are my heart. Sadhava Hrudaya Mayam Sadhunam Tu Udayam Taham. Yadanyat Mattena Janati Nantebhyo Managapi. This is the verse spoken by Lord Vishnu to Durvasa Muni. When Durvasa Muni goes to Vaikuntha seeking protection from Sudarshan Chakra, he said that Sadhava Hrudaya Mayam. Sadhus stay in my heart, I stay in their heart. They know nothing but me and I know nothing but them. So I am sorry, Durvasa Muni, I can't help you. You please go to the Amarish Maharaj only he can save you. I am helpless. In that context, this verse is spoken. So what is contrary to bhakti exists behind me, far away. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak praniti amale apashyat purusham purnam mayam jatat apashrayam. In that mind which was undisturbed because it was pure from the performance of bhakti, bhakti yogena manasi. Srila Vyasadeva saw Lord Krishna, complete with all his energies and spiritual expansions. Apashyat Purusham Purnam, Purna Purusha. When we say Purna Purusha means Lord is situated along with his expansions, devotees, Shaktis, everything is there with him. And also Vyasadeva saw Maya who took shelter behind the Lord. Mayam Chatat Apashrayam. So it's like that. This means that my mind is not in those things, the things which are under the purview of Maya. Because of this, I am called the best of all Rishabha. So Lord himself indicates who is he. He is the Supreme Lord, how and why. Some details are mentioned. Since his body is completely made up of spirit, it is not material body. It is very difficult to understand. So like that. In the next verse, it talks about Bharata Maharaj, the devotee who shelter the remaining 9 sons supposed to take. Tasmad bhavanto hrudayena jata sarve mahiyam shamamum sanabam aklishtabudya bharatam bhajadvam sushrushanam tadbaranam prajanam.
My dear boys, you are all born of my heart, which is the seat of all spiritual qualities. Therefore, you should not be like materialistic and envious men. You should accept your eldest brother Bharata, who is exalted in devotional service. If you engage yourself in Bharata's service, your service to him will include my service, and you will rule the citizens automatically.
So, where is the Lord? Lord is there in your family as your father. Then where is the devotee? Devotee is also there in your family as your elder brother. Therefore, take his shelter and worship him by following in his footsteps. Therefore, you have been born from my chest. You should all worship Bharata, your best brother, with pure intelligence, by which my worship and the protection of the citizens will also be accomplished. So by taking shelter of Bharat Maharaj and worshipping him and by following him, my worship is accomplished and protection of all the citizens is also accomplished as the principal duty of the Kshatriya. So in that way. You have been produced from my chest or urasa Hrudayena. And thus all of you are called Aurasa, sons. So basically, previously it was mentioned that Indra gave his own daughter to Lord Rishabha in marriage, so that the Lord Rishabha will not take the mistake of Indra very seriously. And Lord accepted, and through her he begot 100 sons. So he wanted to have the wonderful sons. In his heart, he thought that I want to have wonderful sons. As a result of that, his 100 sons are born. So that's why it is mentioned that you have been born from my chest. Matlab, your birth has been thought about in my heart first. Whatever I thought in my heart, eventually it has been manifested in the form of you 100 sons through the womb of your mother. So something like that we have to see. So you all should worship your elder brother Bharata, because your elder brother Bharata, who is there in our family, is the greatest of all devotees. All of you should worship him. So then the sons, the remaining sons are questioning. But you have said in the beginning of this particular chapter, my dear father, you have said that one should not have affection for the wife, children, and wealth in the house. After forbidding attachment to wife, sons, and brothers, why do you now teach this? Why do you now tell that develop affection for Bharat Maharaj and your elder brother and worship him? आप ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? अभी अभी बोला था फैमिली के तरफ, फैमिली मेंबर्स के तरफ आसक्त नहीं रहना चाहिए. अभी वापस बोल रहे वही है जो ना बोला उसको करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं. So now Lord Rsabhadev replies, Bharata is the best of great devotees. I have also said that service to the devotees is the cause of bhakti and liberation. Mahastevam dvaram vimuktes. So serving great devotees is the door opening to Vaikuntha. So don't see Bharat Maharaj as your elder brother, instead see him as a great devotee. So then they ask another question. How can we worship him since he is equal to us as a brother? अभी बचपन से हम साथ में पैदा हुआ, अभी हम उनको महान कैसे मान सकते हैं? It is very difficult because we were born together, grown up together, we were treating him as our brother, and now treating him like a great Mahabhagavata, it will be difficult for us. Then Rishabhadeva says, you should not have material vision. Worship with pure intelligence. Don't see him through material vision, seeing him as a brother, like that. See through the spiritual vision and worship with purified intelligence. So like that. Okay, then they say that we worship you because you are our father and also the Supreme Lord. We serve Narada and other great devotees because they are the cause of bhakti. And because we are princes, we should protect the citizens. You are telling us to worship our brother. अभी बाहर से कोई आए तो वर्शिप करना इजी है, फैमिली के अंदर ही हमारे साथ में ही था, उनको वर्शिप करना बहुत मुश्किल है. एंड एज a kshatriya, our principal duty should be taking care of the citizens, and you are telling us to worship brother only. So what about the duty? वो कब करेंगे? So Lord says, by worshipping Bharata, worship of me and protection of the citizens is accomplished. This is my desire. By taking shelter of a great devotee and worshipping him and following in footsteps, performance of all the other duties is accomplished. Everything will be done. So how and why you can understand that the great devotee will never be negligent of one's duties. A great devotee obviously make sure that everyone executes whatever they are supposed to do, and everyone executes bhakti unto Supreme Lord. Bhakti is accomplished, everything else is accomplished in that sense. So the purpose of performing one's duties or anything else is ultimately coming to the point of going back home back to Godhead. If that is not the case, performing all one's duties simply Shramayevahi Kevalam. You remember there was one verse in the first canto, second chapter, Shramayevahi Kevalam. Dharma Swanushrita Pumsha Vishwaksena Katasuya Na Utpadayat Ediratim Shramayevahi Kevalam. According to our psychophysical nature, according to our inclination, if we perform all our duties, our varnashrama duties, our household duties, whatever, हम करते रहे, if all the duties does not develop rati towards Supreme Lord's lotus feet, All our performance of our duties is simply Shrimayevai Kevalam. Dharma Swa Anushtita Pumsha Vishwaksena Katasuya Na Utpadayati Yadiratim Shrimayevati Kevalam. Na Utpadayati Yadiratim. If they are not producing rati means attachment or bhava or affection towards the Supreme Lord. The performance of all our duties are simply Shrimayevai Kevalam. So that is the idea. So if you think that performing duties is so important, if you spend all your time performing duties only, but without developing attachment towards the Lord, they are simply Shrimaya Kevalam. But if you serve your elder brother, a great devotee, your bhakti is accomplished as well as your duties are also accomplished. Everything will be accomplished. So like that, Lord Rsabhadevaś indicates that they should take shelter of Bharat Maharaj, who is a great devotee. Why? There is a question again might come. Why one should take shelter of a great devotee only? Why not somebody else? Why not somebody else expert at Vedic knowledge here, there, and scientific knowledge? Why not somebody else? So, in order to give a understanding of that, Lord Rishabha talks about the gradation of the living entities. Why taking shelter of a great devotee is so important? That is established in the next 4 verses. So, it is like that. Hare Krishna, you are following?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I had one small doubt, not directly related with this verse, but it is yes related. That Bharat Maharaj is considered like out of 100 sons of Rishabhadev, uh, 81 were Brahmanas and the 10 were Kshatriyas and 9 were Paramhansas. So Bharat Maharaj is considered as among Kshatriyas, no, Prabhuji?
No. At least here in this particular instance, it is said that he is the best among all the 100 sons.
Yeah,
He is a
that
great
is
devotee among all the 100 sons.
Varnashram wise I'm saying, because even a Kshatriya can be a very good devotee, no, Prabhuji. Like Ambarish Maharaj is a very good devotee, but he's a Kshatriya.
See,
So
it does
that,
not matter whether Kshatriya or non-Kshatriya, devotee is devotee. So no
yeah,
need to categorize that among the among the Kshatriyas, he is the best devotee, and among Brahmanas, somebody else is best devotee. No need to categorize like that.
no, not that way I'm saying. I had just confusion regarding the great means the division of the Rishabdeva's son. That is why I'm asking. That Bharat Maharaj
No,
will
not like
be.
that. So you might be thinking that okay, Navayogendras are also great devotees. Why they are not considered like that?
No, not that way. I don't have that problem. They
Mhm.
were of different category only. But Bharat Maharaj is just means in the 10 Kshatriya sons only Bharat Maharaj is considered, no? Or his
No,
status.
I am telling he's not just 10. He's the best among all the 100 sons.
Okay.
He's the eldest as well as the best devotee.
Okay. And other 81 Brahmana sons of the Rishabdev, Prabhuji, they were Karmakandiya Brahmanas or the how like Vaishnava Brahmanas?
Vaishnava Brahmanas.
Okay. Thank you.
Hmm. Bhuteshu viruddhaya Bhuteshu virubhya uduttamaye Sarisrupasteshu sabodhanishta Tato manusya pramatastattopi Gandharva siddha vibhudanugaye Devasurebhyo magavan pradana Dakshadayo brahma sutastu tesham Bhavaparaso tavirinja virya Samatparoham Dvijadeva Deva.
Of the two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter begins possessing living force. Vegetables, grass, trees, and plants are superior to dull matter like stone and earth. Superior to non moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes, which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings and the superior to human beings are ghosts because they have no material bodies. Superior to ghosts are the Gandharvas and superior to them are the Siddhas. Superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras and superior to them are the Asuras. Superior to the Asuras are demigods, and of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha, and supreme among Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior, but Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because I am inclined to the Brahmanas are best of all.
Among the living beings, the snakes are superior to the plants. Animals are superior to the snakes. Humans are superior to the animals. Superior to humans are the Gandharvas. Superior to Gandharvas are the Kinnaras. And Indra is superior to all of them. Sons of Brahma like Daksha are superior to Indra. Lord Shiva, son of Brahma, is superior to Daksha. And Brahma is superior to Lord Shiva. I am superior to Brahma. And the best of the Brahmanas are worshipped by me. Though I am superior to Brahma, who is superior to Shiva, who is superior to Daksha, who is superior to Indra, who is superior to Kinnaras, who are superior to Gandharvas, who are superior to human beings, who are superior to animals, who are superior to reptiles, who are superior to plants. I am worshipping Brahmanas. The best of the Brahmanas are worshipped by me. Aham Dvijadeva Devaha. So like that, I am the worshipper of the best of the Brahmanas. So at least in these two verses, we understand that. So though Brahmanas are also part of human beings, but the Supreme Lord, who is best among all the variety of beings, is worshipping the Brahmanas. That indicates that Brahmanas are well positioned than the Supreme Lord. So in that way, because Lord himself is worshipping them, that means Lord is considering them to be superior. So in that way, that's how the Brahmanas position has been indicated in these two verses. In order to teach that the Brahmana should be served, Lord Rsabhadevaś shows that they are best among all people in 4 verses. Among living entities superior to plants which do not move are the moving beings such as snakes which crawl. So in comparison to non-living entities and living entities, the plants are superior to the stones. But among the living entities, some of them do not move, the plants. But the reptiles, at least they crawl. The snakes and all, they crawl. So they are superior to plants. And superior to them are the animals with intelligence. Sabodha Nishta. The animals who have good intelligence compared to the reptiles and plants are better than them. And superior to these animals with intelligence are the human beings who possess much developed intelligence. Superior to the human beings are Gandharvas and Siddhas, Gandharva Siddha. Superior to them are followers of the Devatas such as Kinnaras. Even superior to Manushas are the Pramatas. Pramata Ganas means the Bhuta Preta Pishachas are superior to human beings. And superior to them are Gandharvas. Superior to Gandharvas are Siddhas. Superior to Kinnaras, Siddhas are the Kinnaras. And then it is said that, at least the Acharyas are writing like this. Superior to the Kinnaras are the Asuras. And superior to the Asuras are the Devatas. And superior to the Devatas are, the best among the Devatas is Indra. Deva Asurebhyo Magavan Pradana. Magavat means Indra. And Daksha, who is the son of Lord Brahma, is superior to Indra. He is the best among the Prajapatis. That's why we saw in the 4th canto when Daksha came to the assembly, when he came, all the Devatas got up because he's superior. So in that way. And then superior to the sons of Lord Brahma, like Daksha and all, best among all of them is Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is also one of the sons of Lord Brahma in that way. So the son of Brahma is superior to all. Bhava Paraha. Brahma is superior to Lord Shiva since he produces Lord Shiva. Sa Ata Virincha Virya. So because the subject is devotion to Brahmanas, Brahma is considered superior to Lord Shiva because of Brahma's service to Brahmanas. So in that way. So Brahma is considered superior because Brahma is the father of Lord Shiva as well. Brahma is also constantly engaged in the service of the Brahmanas. However, Lord Shiva is superior to the Brahma as a Vaishnava and in Pravas. But from Shastra point of view, from other point of view, Lord Shiva is superior to Brahma as a Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam Yadashambhu. And among the people who possess power, Lord Shiva is more powerful than Lord Brahma. But here the context is about why they need to take shelter of Bharat Maharaj, who is a devotee, in order to highlight the position of a great devotee, not from the physical power point of view or intellectual power point of view, from the point of view of bhakti and propagation of bhakti. So, in that way, I am superior to Brahma. The best Vipras among the Brahmanas are worshipped by me. So, having indicated the gradation, the best among all the people is Lord Vishnu himself, and that Lord Vishnu is engaged in the service of best of the Brahmanas, who always engaged in glorifying the Supreme Lord. So, something like that. So, that point is there. That point is will be updated in the upcoming verses. So, that's why it is.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Manjuji.
Prabhuji, this gradation is as per the consciousness, means evolvement of consciousness. From that perspective, this gradation has been given.
Yes, yes. Like that, we can say evaluation of consciousness and according to their position. Yes.
Or the capacity of the body also, I think, will be included in this, because when we say that means asuras are just one step below devatas. So how we understand this, because their consciousness is always against the Lord, but means because they have a lot of mystic powers and siddhis like that, because of that they are so high up in the gradation.
Yeah, what is there? But here, at least, my understanding here is, at least in these two verses, don't keep bhakti in consideration. That's why Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma thing is there, na? Lord Shiva is Vaishnava and Shambhu, but still is mentioned as below Brahma. Here, one thing, from the normal point of view of one's position, what kind of seva one is doing in this entire world, where one is situated, what kind of status, hierarchical status.
Okay.
So from that point of view, if you take, both Devatas and Asuras are sons of Kashyap Muni, only Gandharvas, Apsaras are also. But Gandharvas and Apsaras are considered to be the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Kimpur, they are considered to be lesser Devatas. And when we say Devatas, vis-a-vis Asuras are always there. Devatas and Asuras are equally powerful. But from the point of view of Bhakti, one is surrendered to Vishnu, other one is against Vishnu. That is a different thing that we are not seeing. That will come in the last verse and the 24th verse. Bhakti will come in the 24th verse. Even Asuras are also well educated in Vedic knowledge, Shastra,
Yeah.
and they have physical power, intellectual power, all these things are there. So in that way, we have to see, not from Bhakti point of view, but according to the level where they are situated, according to their
General
maturity.
evolvement of consciousness. We say that Chetanana, that Mukulita,
Yes,
Sankulita,
yes,
and all
yes, yes,
those.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, based on that, based on that.
And one more thing, Prabhuji, like air, we consider it as a material thing or spiritual thing.
Which air?
Like here it is said now that ghosts are superior to human beings because their body is made of air, no? Prabhuji, like to say. So, and human bodies are made of earth.
No. There, Prabhupada indicating air means subtle body. Air is subtle, in that way. Their
Okay.
bodies are made up of subtle elements. The mostly
Okay,
they
so
are subtle
earth
elements,
is
subtle
more
body.
gross. Okay, and the air is subtle. So our
Subtle.
bodies are made of gross element, and their bodies are made of
So it is
subtle
like
element.
that. It is just
Okay.
a upama, just a alankar. It is just like that. It is mentioned. Not exactly they are made up of air, but they are airy bodies. Mean ethereal bodies. They say. Prabhupada writes that the ghosts have ethereal bodies. Means basically subtle bodies.
Okay, but they do have bodies.
Subtle body. They have subtle body.
So only subtle body, because that is why it is said that somebody, some ghost haunts somebody. It is said because they don't have, they have a lot of desires to be fulfilled, but they don't have body by which they can fulfill. That is why they
They
haunt.
don't have the gross body, so they enter
Yeah.
into gross body to fulfill. Because here we are dealing with the matter. Matter can be dealt with another matter only.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, fine. So generally, we should understand that ghosts have only subtle body and no gross body, like that, no?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
न ब्राह्मणैस्तुल्य न ब्राह्मणैस्तुल्य भूतमन्य पश्यामि विप्रा किमतः परं तु यस्मिन् हृदि प्रहुतं श्रद्धयायम् अश्नामि कामं न तथाग्निहोत्रे.
O respectful Brahmanas, as far as I am concerned, no one is equal or superior to the Brahmanas in this world. I do not find anyone comparable to them. When people know my motive after performing rituals according to the Vedic principles, they offer food to me with faith and love through the mouth of a Brahmana. When food is thus offered to me, I eat it with full satisfaction. Indeed, I derive more pleasure from food offered in that way than from the food offered in the sacrificial fire.
Mhm. So how, my dear Lord, how can you say that you are worshipping Brahmanas? So in order to establish that, Lord Rsabhadevaś speaks this verse. I do not see anyone equal to the Brahmanas. Who is superior? Who is superior to the Brahmanas? I do not accept. No one is superior to Brahmanas. Why? Since I do not accept the offerings at the fire sacrifice, as much as I accept to the full satisfaction what is offered with faith to the Brahmana's mouth by men. In the second canto, third canto, when the universal form has been described, there are two things mentioned about Lord's mouth. The Lord's mouth is considered to be fire with respect to the Devatas and elements, and Lord's mouth is also considered to be the Brahmanas with respect to the Varnashrama system. The Brahmanas are born from the mouth or head of the Virat Rupa, Kshatriyas from the hands, and Vaishyas from the belly, and Shudras from the legs, Brahmachari from the legs, Grasa from the belly, Vanaprastha from the hand, Sannyasi from the head. Like that, it was mentioned in the second and third cantos universal form description. So the mouth of the Supreme Lord represents two people. One is Agni, other one is Brahmanas. So both Agni is fed by offering oblations, and Brahmanas are fed. Lord says that though I accept the oblations offered to me through the fire sacrifice and by feeding the Brahmanas, but after these two, I'll be very happy when I'm fed through by feeding the Brahmanas. So in that way, even Brahmanas are also considered to be the mouth of the Supreme Lord. When they are fed means the Lord is fed. So like that. So I'm more satisfied with when Brahmanas are fed nicely. So like that, Lord. That's why Lord says that I worship the Brahmanas from that point of view. I cannot compare any other living being to the Brahmanas. Do I see anyone superior to the Brahmanas? No. The reason is given in the verse and half. So in this verse and the next verse, the reason is indicated. The reason one is that here one reason is mentioned that because I relish when Brahmanas are fed because they are my mouth. So this is one reason. And the next reason indicated in the next verse. धृता तनुरुषा उशति मे पुराणे येनेह सत्वं परमं पवित्रम् शमोदमः सत्यमनुग्रहश्च तपस्तितिक्षानुभवश्च यत्र.
The Vedas are my eternal transcendental sound incarnation. Therefore, the Vedas are Shabda Brahma. In this word, The Brahmanas thoroughly study all the Vedas, and because they assimilate the Vedic conclusions, they are also to be considered the Vedas personified. The Brahmanas are situated in the supreme transcendental mode of nature, Sattva Guna. Because of this, they are fixed in mind control, Sama, sense control, Dhamma, and truthfulness, Satya. They describe the Vedas in their original sense, and out of mercy or anugraha, they preach the purpose of the Vedas to all conditioned souls. They practice penances, that is tapasya, and tolerance, that is titiksha, and they realize the position of the living entity and the Supreme Lord, Anubhava. These are the 8 qualifications of the Brahmanas, and therefore, among all living entities, no one is superior to the Brahmanas.
So why the Brahmanas are best and why I worship the Brahmanas? Is Lord Rsabhadevaś establishing here. There is no person superior to the Brahmana who supports my pure eternal body in the form of the Vedas in this world. The one reason why Brahmanas are best is the Brahmanas are dedicated their life to study, follow, and preach the Vedic literature. Their life is meant to preach the Vedic literatures. There is nothing else. That's why Lord said that they are very dear to me. And they support my pure eternal body in the form of the Vedas in this world, and in whom reside the purest sattva. The Brahmanas are made up of pure sattva. Sattvam paramam pavitram. The control of the senses, dhamma. They keep the senses control. Shama, control of the mind. Satyam, truthfulness. Anugraha, mercy. Austerity, tapa. Tolerance, titiksha. Realization of the Vedic conclusions, anubhavascha. So these are the principal characteristics of a person who can be called as best of the Brahmanas. All these qualities should be there, and they should be dedicated their life in studying, understanding, following, and teaching the Vedic conclusions. So in that way. So these are not like Karmakandya Brahmanas as you have said in between, but these are like the traditional Vaishnava Brahmanas. They are devotees at heart, but as a matter of duty, they do Brahmanical duties completely. So in that way, there is no one superior to the Brahmana who supports my body in the form of the Vedas in this world. Shabda Brahma, Parabrahma, Mama Ube, Shashwati Tanu. Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma are my eternal forms, and in whom the 8 qualities beginning with Sattva exist. The 8 qualities mentioned in the translation, they exist properly and completely in the Brahmanas. That's why they are very dear to the Supreme Lord. So it's like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this Shabda Brahma is the Vedas and Parabrahma is what?
Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. All these 3 put together are called Parabrahma.
So Brahman, Acha, all 3 are called Parabrahma.
All three put together are called Parabrahma.
Means one of them also will not be called, single thing will not be called as Parabrahma when we talk.
We can call. Bhagavan is also Parabrahma, Paramatma is also Parabrahma, Brahman is also Parabrahma. You can call that. This is the
either single of them or all of them together is termed as Parabrahma.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But better than even the Brahmanas are my Akinchana Bhaktas. Even though I am worshipping all the Brahmanas who possess all these wonderful qualities, whom I consider as my mouth, and by feeding whom I relish completely. But better than them are my Akinchana Bhaktas. That is indicated in the 25th verse. Matto panantat parata parasmat Sarga pavarga dipaterna kinchit Hesham kimu kimu syaditareena tesham akinchana mai bhakti bhajam.
I am fully opulent, almighty, and superior to Lord Brahma and Indra, the king of the heavenly planets. I am also the bestower of all happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom and by liberation. Nonetheless, the Brahmanas do not seek material comforts from me. They are very pure and do not want to possess anything. They simply engage in my devotional service. What is the need of their asking for material benefits from anyone else?
Yeah. Now, here, I mean, we may think that why Brahmanas ke bare mein so much glory is mentioned. When Brahmanas are glorified so much that Lord himself is worshipping Lord, considering them to be his mouth, and after glorifying them sufficiently, then if there is a statement saying that Akinchana Bhaktas are superior to the Brahmanas, means like their position is established, even superior to them. The devotees who worship only me, my bhakti bhajam, ananya chintayanto mam yejana pari upasate. Ananya means no other goal. And pari upasate means completely dedicated to my worship. Upasate means to worship. Pari upasate means complete worship 24/7 manasa vacha karmana. So like that. The devotees who worship only me, no one else. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Name, Eva Kevalam. Eva and Kevalam. Only. So Nasteva, Nasteva, no other one, no other one, no other one. It's like that. Who only worship me. And I have given even themselves to me. Who pray for nothing from me except me. Matta Akinchananam. My devotees, they worship me and they do not ask anything from me other than me. The Lord, Parata Parasmat, who possess infinite qualities, Ananta, and who can award lordship over Swarga, Apavarga, Adipate. He can award lordship over Swarga and also operation. Need nothing from any other being. So, na kinchit itarena syad. And they do not want anything from me or anything from anyone else. My devotees only wants me, nothing else. They are better than the Brahmanas. So like that, Lord establishes. Why they are better also is indicated here. And my devotees are the best. If the Brahmanas are better, my devotees are the best. They are most worthy of worship because they do not pray for the necessities from me. I am unlimited. I, the Lord, having unlimited powers and sweet qualities, exist at their goal. What do they need from any other person such as Brahma? They don't go after Brahmaji, Shiva, and Devatas here and there asking for some material benefits. No. Even what to speak of them, they don't even ask anything from me only. Even if I am ready to offer them everything, they say, oh, no, we don't want anything. We just want you. So like that is the quality of devotees. They are without any possessions, having given to me all possessed objects and their identity. They possess at every moment prema bhakti, and therefore those who desire this bhakti should worship them at all times. So nishkinchananam like akinchana means they don't want to possess anything else other than prema bhakti. प्रेम भक्ति के बिना कुछ नहीं चाहिए उनको. They are best among all. Lord Kapila explains in the third canto that the devotees are superior to the Brahmanas. The gradation of the jivas, which was mentioned in the previous few verses, even Lord Kapila Deva also mentions in the third canto 29th chapter. There also he mentioned the gradation, and at the end he says the Brahmanas are superior, and superior to the Brahmanas are Akinchana Bhaktas. So there it is mentioned in that case. Tasman mai arpitashesha kriyartatma nirantara. Mai arpita manapumsho mai sanyasta karmana. Na pashyami parambhutam akartuhu samadarshanath. Superior to the jnani. So there he goes to say that Brahmanas are the best, and among the Brahmanas, those who understand karma from the Veda, they are best. And superior than them, those who understand Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga, they are best. And those who practice Jnana, Ashtanga Yoga are much better. Those who realize themselves and understand me are much better. So like that. After that, this works the same. Superior to the Jnani is the person who fully dedicated his activities such as hearing and chanting. His wealth, his identity, his mind, and all his intelligence to me. I do not see a greater living entity than this person who has offered himself to me. Atma Nivedanam. Giving up all varnashrama actions. Sarvadharman Paritijya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Who think that the Lord alone inspires his bhakti. And who identifies with others' happiness and distress. So this person is the best among all people. So that is the gradation of all the living entities all the way up to Brahmanas, and superior to the Brahmanas are Akinchana Bhaktas. So here Brahmanas means, so in that case, from the point of view of sadhana and all, we should say that Brahmanas means they include those who practice, those who have understood the essence of the Vedic literatures and hence they practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and mixed bhakti. Bhakti mixed with karma, jnana, yoga, all these things. So all these people are considered to be the part of the previous glorification of the Brahmanas. So there the Brahmana means a sadhaka who understood that one need to practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga in order to attain liberation. Or one need to practice Bhakti mixed with Karma, Jnana Yoga in order to attain perfection and go to Vaikuntha. So like that, they are that. And superior to them are, superior to the mixed devotees are Ananya Bhaktas. So that in that way, the Ananya Bhaktas are indicated in the last verse. So finally, in two more verses, Lord Rsabhadevaś is concluding his instructions. Any questions till now?
No,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
No
Yeah.
problem. Thank you.
Sarvani madhishnataya bhavadbis चरानि भूतानि सुता ध्रुवानि संभावितव्यानि पदे पदेवो विविक्तदृग्भिस्तदुहारणं मे तदुहारणं मे.
My dear sons, you should not envy any living entity, be he moving or non-moving, knowing that I am situated in them. You should offer respect to all of them at every moment, and in this way you offer respect to me.
So then, if Brahmanas are superior to everyone and Vaishnavas are superior to them, then I can criticize and harm the lower living entities because anyway they are inferior. I can play with them like that on my question. But finally, no, not like that. Kindly, even though they may be inferior or there is a gradation, but everyone should be respected. Oh sons, at all times you should meditate on all moving and non-moving beings with pure vision, since I am situated in all of them. Besides this, you should worship me. You should respect everyone. It is not that you only have to worship Mahat Bhakta, Mahan Bhakta only. Of course, yes, it is true that you should surrender yourself completely to Mahan Bhakta. At the same time, you should respect everyone else also. It is not that I have surrendered to him and I don't have anything else to do other people. I can criticize them and I can do anything I want. Not like that. We should respect everyone and we should take shelter of a great soul. Because I am situated in every living entity. So just the way you respect me, you should respect them also because I am also situated in them. One should give respect to all living beings in order to destroy faults such as disrespect and envy. When we respect others, treating them as an expansion of the Supreme Lord, thinking that the Supreme Lord is situated within them, there is a great chance that will not develop disrespect or envy towards others. Because I am situated in all beings, dear sons, you should meditate on all moving and non-moving beings with vision devoid of envy and other faults. Other than this, you should worship me also. You should worship me being present in all the living entities and also You should worship me directly. Both you should do. So it is not that okay भगवान का सब जगह पर है, मैं सब जगह पर वर्शिप करता हूँ, भगवान को सेपरेटली वर्शिप नहीं करता हूँ, ऐसा नहीं, दोनों करने का.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, it is so difficult, no, but like we see some cockroach or some lizard or somebody like that. Okay, at a theoretical level, because we have read Bhagavatam, that is there in the background, so we know that okay, Lord is residing in that living entity also. But means through respect कैसे आएगा ऐसे creatures के लिए, like means it is so difficult.
हाँ आएगा, अभी नहीं आएगा. We are still on the bodily platform, so it will be difficult. We are, I mean, there is still, I mean, theoretically knowledge is there, but we have not to that extent that we are able to follow that knowledge 100% properly.
क्योंकि
So
ऐसे creatures को देख के तो nuisance value के है, means they are only troubling us, उतना ही ध्यान में आता है. But now because we have the spiritual knowledge little bit, so okay, उनको मारना नहीं है, we will try to get them outside the house or something like that. लेकिन respect तो बहुत दूर की बात है, कहीं से भी
no,
नहीं
respect
आता.
मतलब ये नहीं, you need to offer dandavat pranam, you need to fall flat. No, not like that.
Not like
No, respect means okay, they are there, I am there, I should not cause them disturbance, I should not disturb them, I should not for no reason, I should not exercise my free will upon them. So something like that we can take.
yeah, because जैसे अभी mosquito के बारे में अभी Prabhupada also used to say ना, like okay, you should not just like that they are moving around, you should not kill them. But some means when that mosquito sat on the body of Prabhupada and started biting, that time Prabhupada said, now you can kill because now he is after time. So like that, so ऐसे काफी सारे creatures के बारे में होता है ना, that is why I was.
Now if that is the case, मैं respect करो मतलब snake को respect करेंगे तो वो आके बैठेंगे, it will come and
हाँ, तो हम ही नहीं
uh,
बचेंगे respect देने के लिए.
so it's not that respect means unnecessarily should not cause violence to them. When
Yeah,
they are
but
disturbing us, we need to protect ourselves from them. That is required. It is not that
yeah,
okay, let them do whatever they want, not like that. For no reason should not cause violence upon them.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
Mano Vachodru Karane. Hare Krishna.
No, I said thank you.
Somebody else I thought. Mano Vachodru Karane Hitasya Sakshat Kritam me Paribarahanam hi Vina Pumanye Mahavimohat कृतान्तपाशान्न विमोक्तुमीशेत्.
The true activity of the sense organs, mind, sight, words, and all the knowledge gathering and working senses is to engage fully in my service. Unless his senses are thus engaged, a living entity cannot think of getting out of the great entanglement of material existence, which is exactly like Yamaraj's stringent rope.
So this is the final verse spoken by Lord Rsabhadevaś. He says that, yeah, you need to engage in my service, employing everything that you have. Serving me directly with your mind, with your speech, with your sight, and with all other senses, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, which belong to the body, is worship of me. What was that verse? From Narada Bhakti Sutra, and नेक्स्ट डिवोशन में आता है ना शुरू में, ऋषिकेन ऋषिकेश सेवनम भक्तिरुत्तमम सर्वोपाधि विनिर्मुक्तम तत्परत्वेन निर्मलम. ऋषिकेन ऋषिकेश सेवनम, employing all our senses in service of Supreme Lord is master of the senses is bhakti. So here serving me directly with your mind, manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji man namaskuru. So in that way, your speech, your sight, and other senses belonging to body is worship of me. Without this, so man cannot be freed from the ropes of death or from great illusion. Basically, till the time we do not completely surrender to Supreme Lord, we cannot be delivered from this material world. Daiviyesha gunamayi mamamaya durataya mamyeva prapadyante mayamyatam tarandite. Mam eva ye prapadyante means only me. Matlab completely surrendering to the Supreme Lord. Nowhere else, nothing here, nothing there. So in that way. Lord Rishabhadeva concludes the subject by describing the general quality of bhakti and saying that there cannot be liberation without bhakti. Engaging the mind, voice, sight, and other senses belonging to the body in relation to me is service of me. Without this, a man cannot be freed from the ropes of death, from great illusion. Without complete surrender to Supreme Lord, one cannot be delivered from the cycle of birth and death. So that is indicated here in this verse. So it is like that. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyaschasu tattah tato mam tattato jnatva vichitatantaram. Only by bhakti one can understand and realize and attain the Supreme Lord. So in that way. So these are the 27 verses which were very in the beginning. They are very, very strong, very powerful, and instructions by Lord Rsabhadevaś because he's such a personality. And there are a few more verses in the rest of the chapter. We'll quickly go through how after instructing all these things, Lord Rsabhadevaś renounces and goes to the forest and executes his Vanaprastha renounced duties, and what kind of duties he executed. That is the subject matter of the remaining verses. We quickly go through. I will only read the translation. Sukadeva Goswami said next, thus, the great well-wisher of every living entity, the Supreme Lord Rishabhadeva, instructed his own 100 sons. Although they were highly learned, they were already devotees, but still he instructed them just to set an example for the public. Yadyad acharati shrestha tattat eva itarojana. Loka anushasana artham. His sons are already devotees, but still he was speaking to his sons about bhakti because that assembly, every living entity is assembled there and for the benefit of everyone, Lord Rsabhadevaś was speaking. So then, having given instructions about the path of Jnana, Vairagya and Bhakti, they are the principal topics which Lord Rsabhadevaś talked in the entire section. He talked about Jnana, he talked about Vairagya, he talked about Bhakti. For great sages who have become detached from material life and have given up material karmas, Lord Rsabhadevaś enthroned the eldest among his sons, Bharata, the topmost devotee and servant of the Vaishnavas, to protect the earth, Dharani Palanaya. So then, after instructing all these, after giving all these instructions to his 100 sons and also to the, through the, keeping his 100 sons as the instrument, it ought to enter public who are willing to practice Jnana Yoga, Vairagya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, who are already developed detachment from material life and given them all material karmas. So it's like that. Who want to attain perfection, who want to go back to Godhead, for their benefit, Lord spoke all these things. And then he made Bharat Maharaj the best of his 100 sons as the ruler of the entire Bhuloka or Bhumandala. Then, accepting only the bodily maintenance, even while remaining at home. So he took Vanaprastha order or Sannyasa order, what we can Kshatriya. So you will not directly take Sannyasa, but traditionally Kshatriyas would take Vanaprastha order. So like we in the Kshatriyas, 4 category Kshatriyas, we hear that Kutichaka, Bahavoda, and Parivrajaka and Paramahamsa. The Kutichaka means after accepting sannyasa, he will stay in the village only in a kuti, and the family still supports them by every day offering something. Then he stops taking from family and starts begging from different people in the same village, and then leaves the home and goes on traveling pilgrimage places, Parivrajaka, and then eventually comes to the stage of Paramahamsa. That is the 4 divisions in sannyas. Somewhat similar in Vanaprastha also. The first stage of Vanaprastha is they will stay in the same town and the same family only, but some corner. The family is still maintaining them. So you only accept bodily maintenance, even while rebelling at home. After making his son the king, he is supposed to go to forest after accepting Vanaprastha. But for a few days, he stayed there only in the same home. But he accepted only bare minimum things. And then acting like a madman, unmatta iva. Like a madman, he did not become mad. He acting like a madman. He then took the sacrificial fire within himself. So that means when somebody is at home, when especially a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, they need to perform Agni Hotra, fire sacrifice every day without fail. the fire should continuously go on in their home. That the traditional it is like that. But when they take to Vanaprasthata, the fire should be taken inside. That means the fire of tapasya, the fire of austerity, that should go on in the Vanaprastha. So he has taken that fire within himself and walked about Brahmavarta naked with disheveled hair. So few days he stayed at home and afterwards he left home and he started walking in the capital city, Brahmavarta. Their capital was Brahmavarta. There he was walking. How he was walking? He was wearing no clothes and he was disheveled hair. So that means the hair left free open. It was not combed properly, etc. etc. So it's like that. So now kindly note this one point. The people saw him as a king with the kingly robes, and people never saw him without clothes or with a disheveled hair and very in a bad condition. So when he was walking like that, people in general city also considered him to be like a madman because he wanted to act like a madman. The people actually treated him as a madman. That we will see in the next two verses because he was behaving like a madman. So in that way, people also responded accordingly. That will come in one of the later verses. So Upashikshamana means he instructed his 100 sons. I mean, he instructed all the citizens through the via medium of his 100 sons. Remaining at home, he accepted only bodily maintenance for few days. And then he started walking in the capital city without clothes, with disheveled hair and everything, etc. After accepting the dress of an Avaduta, so this wearing no dress is dress of Avaduta. Lord Rsabhadevaś accept like a dull person, Jada. Later on, we see in the Bharat Maharaj case, he was also acting like Jada. That's why he was called Jada Bharata. So here Rsabhadevaś himself said that example. He was acting like Jada, dull person, Anda, blind person, Muka, deaf person, and Badira, mute person, deaf and dumb. Dumb, deaf, blind, and dull are mad. Like a ghost or like a madman. Pishasha Unmadakavat. He did not become ghost like a ghost. He did not become mad. He was behaving like a madman. When addressed by people, he remained silent since he had taken a vow of silence. He has taken the Badira vow, mute vow. So people were asking, who are you? Why are you not wearing clothes? Kahan se aage, kahan ja rahe? He did not respond only. And he was walking left, right, like a mad person. He was not following proper path. So it's like that. Then what
Krishna
people
Prabhuji,
do? Yes, Prabhu.
why did they act like this, Prabhu?
Why did we also discussed in the one of the first verses, that chapter 3 last verse, why did Lord Rshabhadev appear, that we saw, and why he did will come in the next chapter. I don't want to tell right now. He did with a purpose. It will come later. First let us see what he did. So then he like that he traveled in his own city for some time. Then he moved from his city to nearby village, like that. He traveled all over. So where all he traveled, the details are mentioned here. He wandered the earth alone. He was alone, going here and there through different towns, villages, mines, farms, mountains, mountain villages. You see, through different towns and villages. Pura means towns, Grama means village, Akara means mines, Kheta means farms, mountain villages are Karavata, gardens are Vata means gardens, military camps, Shibira, cow pens, Vraja. Cow pens means cow sheds are called Vraja. Cowherd villages where cowherds stay, that is called Gosha. Travelers refuge, Sartha, and mountains, Giri. Forests, Vana, and settlements of sages, ashramas. So like that he traveled to all these different places, passing through all these different places. He remained indifferent like an elephant surrounded by flies. When elephant is walking, so many flies are moving around the elephant. Elephant is not disturbed at all. So like that. Though he was humiliated by the insults, scoldings, and beatings of low class people. So in the previous verse, it said that people would ask, who are you? What is your name? Kahan se aage, kahan ja rahe? He would not respond. When he would not respond, people who would not stop there. They begin to humiliate him because he was without clothes. People would humiliate him. They shout at him, insult and scolding. Sometimes some people beat him. So ऐसे कैसे citizens के बीच में ऐसे कपड़ा के बिना कैसे जा सकते? A madman जैसे जा रहा है करके they would beat him. The localized people who sometimes urinated on him, spat on him, threw stones, stool or dust on him, or passed foul air on him. All these things they did unto Lord Rishabdeva because he was walking naked like a dumb man, mad man, dull man, and deaf man. So like that. So then he was, but on the other hand, Lord Rishabdeva was not afflicted since he did not identify with me or mine. He did not have any concept of aham mamiti and was situated in his spiritual body. Lord was completely situated in his spiritual body. And since he was completely experiencing spiritual bliss, he was not at all disturbed by these external activities of the people. And was situated in his spiritual body, understanding that his body composed of the universe was temporary, though real, while distinguishing the functions of the spiritual and material energies. So now, one thing kindly understand. He the Supreme Lord, and from him only this entire material world appears, and from him only all the jivas appear, and from him only all the bodies of the jivas appear, and this material world is also considered to be the body of the Supreme Lord. So it is the Supreme Lord who is living in this universe, with the living entities who are also expansion of himself, and they are throwing stones and words and beating and all unto him only. So Lord is seeing in one sense. So though the entire universe consisting of all the living entities is nothing but his own body, but it is temporary. Whatever is happening to me in this material world, which is also my body, but it is a temporary body. Whatever is happening to me is also a temporary situation. So let me tolerate. He was simply tolerating and acting away indifferent. While distinguishing the functions of the spiritual and material energies, he was completely indifferent to it. So he himself, treating himself as the Lord of spiritual energy, and is treating the material world, which is also his expansion, but is an object made up of his material energy. And he was completely indifferent to this material energy, and all the activities done by the people of this material world also indifferent to him, indifferent to it. So like that, you have to see. That's why he did not respond. He was simply tolerant and moving ahead. So this is the meaning of all the different words used in that verse. Pura means city, Grama means a town without market, Akara means a mine, Keta means a farm community, Karavata is a village on a mountain slope, Vata is a flower garden, and Shiviram is a military encampment, Vraja is a place of cows, Gosha is the cowherd village, Sartha is a gathering place of travelers, Ashrama is the village of sages, great sages stay in the ashrama. Then the lowest of men scolded him to create fear in him, beat him, urinated on him, and spit felgum on him. They threw stones, stool, and dust on him, and passed foul air on him. Humiliated in this way, he tolerated it all because he did not identify with the body, which is a temporary situation, though it is called real. This is Sridhar Swami's explanation. If somebody threw stone at us, somebody spits at us, we become angry. But if you philosophically understand that we as the soul are different from the body, which is made up of matter. If somebody spits on the material body, which is not us, there is no reason that we should become angry. But we become angry because we identify with the body. But here Lord Rishabdeva did not become angry because he did not identify with the material body, in the sense the people are thinking to be matter and they are throwing matter on me. But I don't see myself as matter. But they are seeing me matter and they are throwing stones and lakdi and all these thing on me. So I don't have to disturb. So like that, he did not respond. Jiva Goswami says that this statement is made only to give instruction to common people. So in one sense, our Acharya says that actually no one did like that. It is said like that in order to give an instruction to the great sages who accept this kind of renunciation, even though if somebody does all these things, one should tolerate. When Lord himself is tolerating all these things, can't we tolerate by following in his footsteps? So in order to give that instruction, all these things are mentioned. That Jiva Goswami say like that. This statement is made only to give instruction to common people who want to follow like the Lord. The word etasmin should not therefore indicate his body, but the universe, since his body is completely spiritual. Because the universe is temporary, thus it is called as atas samsthane. As a unit, it is designated as the body of the Lord. Because the universe is also manifested from Supreme Lord, it is called as the body, universal form of the Supreme Lord, the entire universe. But the Lord did not identify with that body composed of the universe. But Lord did not identify with the universal form. If he were to identify with that body, the universal form or the body made up of 24 mental elements, he would have become angry like all of us. Because our body is made up of the same 24 elements like the universal body, universal form. If somebody spits at us, we become angry. But Lord did not become angry because he did not identify with that body. He did not identify with that body composed of the universe. If he were to identify with that body, which is the universe composed of those who insulted him, he would lament, thinking, my body composed of the universe is contaminated by this great offense. So the both ways, Lord would have been reacted badly, or he would thought that okay, I'm contaminated by these all these foul things. What can I do? Like that, he would feel bad. But he did not identify with that body, since he was situated in his own glory, his body of knowledge and bliss, Sachidananda Swarupa, with realization of his Chit Shakti, belonging to his Swarupa, and his Maya Shakti, which was not his Swarupa. So basically, this is the understanding. Lord, in order to set an example, doing all these things. Even though somebody was spitting at him and throwing stones or pathar and sticks at him, beating him, he did not respond because they are treating him to be one among them, but he is treating himself to be spiritual. So matter cannot harm spiritual. He did not revolt badly or feel remorse. So that's how Lord Rsabhadevaś continued on.
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
Prabhuji, like this is little difficult to understand because
Wait. It will be difficult to understand, but why he is doing all these things, we will understand later in the 6th chapter. There is a special purpose for what he is doing all these things. Then it becomes clear. So till then you need to be patient. You just watch the movie.
no, like at one point, some shlokas back behind when he started instructing his sons, he said that I means my body is Sachidananda Vigraha and like that. And here he's saying that I'm not attached to my body. I'm means both two
No.
statements.
It's not like that. It is. I am not attached to my body in the sense the people are considering me to be one among them. The people are treating me a person of matter, the 24 elements, and hence they are throwing stones, spars, all these things at me. But I don't treat my body. I don't think my body to be like that. So I am transcendental, even though they may throw all these things upon me, I am not affected by those things. He was completely indifferent to all these things, thinking that they are all temporary and he's moving on. He's setting an example. In our case, we either do two things. One thing, either we do the same thing to them backward, or we may feel bad. So they are doing all these things to me. So either we may feel pity about ourselves or we may shout at them because we are so much worried about keeping the comfort of our body. But here Lord Rsabhadevaś is teaching how to tolerate in the midst of all these things and remain indifferent. Even don't even feel bad also about it. What to speak of becoming angry? It is the highest order. And why he is doing what he is doing will be understood in the 6th chapter. Now we will not discuss.
Okay, fine.
Next, further what happened? His tender hands and feet, his chest. See, on one side people are throwing stones, foul air and stool and gobar and what else, what not, everything at him. Because he was walking naked. In a society which is civilized, if somebody walking naked, in one sense people become angry. But some people are so naughty that they are throwing all these foul substances at him. That is too much. But at least any civilized society, they become angry. They say at least they wear some clothes or they give some clothes and they cover his body. I mean, in a civilized society, that is what is expected. They need to be covered properly. But in one sense, what he's doing is also like enraging the people in the society. So the like that you see. So now it goes further. But on the other hand, other side, Sukadeva Goswami talking about his transcendental body. How beautiful it is. This verse talks about the beautiful description of the body. His tender hands and feet, his chest, long arms, shoulders, neck, face, and other bodily limbs were well placed. His face had a natural smile and natural beauty. He had beautiful eyes. His new lotus petals. Sorry. He had beautiful eyes like new lotus petals, reddish with cooling pupils. His forehead, neck, ears, and nose had intense beauty. He awakened love in the minds of the city women. With his joyful face, with a deep smile. So he awakened love in the minds of city women with his joyful face, with a deep smile. He had abundant brown matted hair falling all around. Since his body was neglected and covered with dirt, he appeared to be haunted. So Lord's transcendental form is so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful that, but now he was wearing no clothes, his hair is not decorated, no combing, nothing is there, no ornaments are there, no mukut is there. On the other hand, people were throwing all the false substances upon him. There is a lot of mud, gobar, and so many other things. So he appears to be like a haunted person. Haunted person does not know whether he is well dressed or not. So that is what happening with Rishabdev. Sadrisha means extreme. He had an extremely attractive forehead. So on one side his beauty is described, other side the women are getting attracted to him, but the other men are becoming angry with him and throwing all these things at him.
Babuji, how to understand like the same form is creating some soft corner or love in the minds of a woman, and at the same form is creating such a state of a disgusting feeling and all negative feelings in the people, and they are throwing so many things on him. How to understand this?
Simple. It all depends on the people who are responding. You see, why don't you see people different nature? People are different nature, na? So people अपना अपना मन से respond कर रहे हैं. Because he's beautiful, the women are getting attracted to him momentarily. It is not that they are following after him. As when they at the first look, just by looking at his face, they are getting attracted to him because his face is so beautiful. But the men, the gentlemen, are becoming angry. They are telling that why don't you wear clothes? You are walking in the middle of a city and where a lot of different variety of people are there. How can you walk naked? So they are becoming angry. But other nasty people, they are getting an opportunity to express their anger for no reason. So it depends on the people's consciousness. So like that.
Okay, thank you.
When Lord Rishabdeva saw now, so seeing that people are unnecessarily getting outraged at him, so then Lord Rishabdeva did another thing. When Lord Rishabdeva saw that the world was unfavorable for his practice of yoga, yoga se adda, and that the remedial measure of the materialists were disgusting, he took the vow of Pavitan. So he thought that, okay, this kind of sadhana people are not able to appreciate. Let me not walk in the cities where the citizens are regularly moving, etc. etc. Let me go to forest. And he went to forest. He took the vow of a Pavitan, Ajagara Vritti. So what is Ajagara Vritti? We'll see next. He took the vow of Python and remained in one place, sleeping there only, eating there only, drinking there only, chewing there only, urinating there only, and passing stool there only. He rolled in that filthy filth and his body became covered in it. So previously what was happening, he was traveling from one place to other place, and wherever he went, people becoming outraged and becoming angry at him and beating him. Why he was not wearing clothes, why he is not speaking, why he's behaving like a madman. They thought him to be madman or haunted person, so they were doing all these things. So he thought that unnecessarily I'm creating bad situation for the people in general. People, if I'm not there, they will not do all these things. Since I am there, they are doing all these bad things and they are unnecessarily committing offenses. Let me not go to cities. Thinking that he went to forest, and in the forest also he does not want to travel anywhere. He want to stay at one place only. He fell flat on the ground. He does not want to go here and there. And he accepted the vow of Python. Ajagaravarti means he remains there opening his mouth, and whatever comes into his mouth, he will accept that as his food. He does not endeavor to get something for his food. He does not even get up. And if he has to pass urine, if he has to pass stool, he would pass there only. And there only he would roll around here and there while sleeping. This is called Ajagaravarti. So he took up that. So then what happened? He saw that the world was not favorable to his yoga because of the disturbances caused by hunger, thirst, and people's outrage. Because people are angry. No one was feeding him. So they are beating him instead. So he was not able to get any food also all these years. And it was so much, he was experiencing so much hunger and thirst and all these things are there. He thought, okay, let me not do all these things. It is difficult. So let me go to forest and stay there at one place. And whatever comes close to me, I'll accept that. The word Iva, it appeared to be so. It used because nothing is unfavorable for the advanced yogi. For Lord, he has infinite tolerance. There is nothing is unfavorable for him. He could do anything he can do. But for yogis, later on, for those who want to follow in his footsteps, for them it would be more difficult. So for their benefit, Lord showed the next step. The next step is Ajagara Vritti that he executed. The vow of the Python means to stay in one place and receive one's karmas of this life. Since he would stay in one place, he would not become an outrage to the people, since he would be known. Then the people, city people and village people do not become angry with him because now they understood that okay, that पागल आदमी जंगल में चला गया वो उधर ही अभी वो गांव में वापस नहीं आएगा, so उनसे कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. So now people became peaceful. So there, rolling in the urine and stool, part of his body became covered with it. He would eat whatever comes to him and he would drink whatever comes to him, and then he would pass urine and stool there only and would roll here and there. Like we see in our Goshalas, the buffaloes, if they are there, they would pass urine there only, they would pass dung also there only, and in the night they would sleep in them only. So something like that. I'm sorry, it's already 8:30, but it is verse number 33. There are only 35 verses, just 3 verses we'll just cover so that this chapter will be completed. Just 3 verses. See, the previous verse said that he was passing urine and stool and he was rolling on them. See, he does not even making an effort to move aside where the place is clean. But on the other hand, see this. The wind, fragrant from the smell of his stool, made the place fragrant for 10 yojanas around. Though he was moving here and there in the stool, urine, which he passed there only, but that stool and urine which came out of his transcendental body producing good fragrance to a distance of 10 yojanas. 1 yojana is 13 kilometers. 10 yojana means 130 kilometers. उतना दूर तक अच्छा फ्रेग्रेंस आ रहा है, जैसे पूतना का देह देह त्याग करने के बाद जब उनका देह को जला रहे थे उस समय अगरू smell was coming all over because Lord Krishna touched her body. So one may think that this condition is disgusting for a spiritual body. This verse explains. The air became fragrant with the smell of his stool. Though we may be calling it as stool and urine, but they are producing this wonderful transcendental smell, which is spreading to a distance of 130 kilometers. So it is not an ordinary thing. So that shows his transcendental position, transcendental nature. So in that way. While moving, standing, sitting, or lying down, acting like the cow, deer, or crow, and displaying this nature to people who were similar to crows and animals. He drank, ate, and urinated there only. So he was acting there like a cow, like a deer, like a crow, and he was doing all the activities such as moving, standing, sitting, lying down, etc. He drank there only whatever comes to him, and he ate, he urinated at the same place only, not going here and there. He displayed this nature for the people who are equivalent to crows and other animals. Kaka, Murga, go charai. So he was actually acting like the cow, deer, and crow, etc. etc. Matlab, he's not making any endeavor also, even small endeavor also to go here to there to here, so that he would act like the people in general, not like that. He was completely indifferent to the social norms. He was acting like a animal. This is the final verse for today's class, the last verse of the chapter. The Supreme Lord Rishabha, performing many types of yoga. Okay. The master who could award liberation, he the master is Yogeshwara, was always absorbed in the highest bliss. He was filled with perfection of all goals through prema directly experienced within himself, which produced unlimited tears directed to himself in the form of Vasudeva, situated in all beings. So Lord Rishabhadeva, who is non-different from Lord Vasudeva, who is an expansion of Lord Vasudeva, constantly meditating upon Lord Vasudeva and experiencing intense bliss, as a result of which his eyes are continuously outpouring the tears. O King Parikshit, thus he did not welcome in his mind the mystic powers, such as flying in the sky, moving at the speed of mind, the ability to disappear, entering others' bodies, Parakaya Pravesh, or seeing at a great distance, okay, and which suddenly appeared of their own accord within him. So from internal point of view, the Supreme Lord is the Yogeshwara. He already had all the mystic powers. But still, from the external point of view, if we accept him to be like an ordinary jiva, like one of us, one among us, since he was performing Trivar Tapasya for so many days, weeks, months, and years, we don't know how much time passed. As a result of those austerities, that being at one place, performing this Dada Yoga is so difficult, the mystic siddhis came to him as his servants. But Lord Rishabhadeva did not accept any of those mystic siddhis. So this is the question Arjuna, Parikshit Maharaj asks, why Lord did not accept those mystic siddhis? Lord Sukadeva Goswami will answer in the next chapter that we will discuss next week. But there are some notes for this particular verse. This is the last slide for today's discussion. Kaivalyapati means that he gave merging in Brahman to others out of his mercy. He himself is the awarder of liberation and is performing this austerity for liberation. What is this? This is only just to teach others, just to set an example how to perform this Jada Yoga. One should consider that these pastimes are a meditation for teaching yogis. So Benit Prabhu was asking, so why he was doing all these things? The reason is one should consider that these pastimes are a meditation for teaching the yogis. How a yogi should practice Jada Yoga. Lord Rishabhadev is enacting by his own personal example. They are not to be imitated. Though Lord Rishabha was the Supreme Lord, he developed prema for Lord Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. Since Lord Vasudeva is the most worthy of worship among all avatars. Bhishma told in his last instructions to Yudhishthira Maharaj, Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shiva Devarshir Narada Sakshad Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa. O King Yudhishthir, Lord Shiva, Narada, the sages, the heavenly sages, Devarshis, Lord Kapila, who is directly the Lord, know the most secret anubhavas of Lord Krishna, though not his intentions. So even the great personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Narada Muni, and Lord Kapila can only understand who directly see the Lord. Can only the secret anubhava can only know the secret anubhavas of Lord Krishna, but not his intentions. The concept of many supreme lords is rejected, and thus the word Atmani is used in reference to Lord Vasudeva. Basically, Lord Vasudeva is Amshi and Lord Rsabhadeva is Amsha. Though they are Amshi and Amsha, they are same only. So that is what is indicated and established in this verse. The concept of many supreme lords is rejected, and thus the word Atmani is used in this verse. Lord Rsabhadeva was filled with prema, which produced unlimited tears, complete with all results, directly manifested in himself, directed to Lord Vasudeva, who is non-different from himself, being is Amshi. So Lord Vasudeva is Amshi, Lord Rsabhadeva is Amsha, an expansion. Vidayasha means having the ability to fly in the sky. Manojava means moving his body as fast as the mind. Dirga Hana Durga Duragrahana means seeing things far away. So basically, the thing is that he is an expansion of the Lord, but in order to set an example how to practice Jada Yoga, he was doing all these things. Eventually, by accepting Ajagara Vritti, he was able to experience Krishna Prema, complete bliss, and the body is displaying all the symptoms. Hair standing on the end, and eyes are profusely pouring down tears, etc. etc. All these things are there. So at that time, all the mystics, this came to him, his service, and Lord did not even get looking at them. He was simply absorbed in Krishna Prema. So these are the few details from this chapter, chapter 5. So one of the instructive chapter. So we have done this, and the next week we'll continue with chapter 6. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Late हो गए quite late हो गए.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, regarding last time what we discussed in our last class, I was confused understanding that it was discussed that one should take help of jnana and yoga, and when one can give up the gross body and subtle body, then one should leave that and then be situated purely in bhakti. That's what we discussed now. So we say that bhakti is all encompassing, then why bhakti needs the help of jnana and yoga to give up the settled body?
Wait. What was the heading of that section? That verse came in particular shloka. What was the heading of that section? For Ananya Bhakta, they don't have to take any help from Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, etc. etc. But there are some devotees who are called Jnana Mishra Bhaktas. So they need to take shelter of Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga in order to destroy their subtle body. They are Mishra Bhaktas. For them, it is required. That's why Lord showed that. Lord told that. So it is like that. For someone who is like Ananya Bhakta, like Rajavasis, they don't have to worry about karma, jnana, yoga, all these things. But for others who are Mishra Bhaktas, they need to consider all these things.
Okay.
The heading was either Jnana Mishra Bhakti or Bhakti Mishra Jnana. That's why it was mentioned there.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Hare
and also this verse now, last chapters, fourth chapter, fifth verse, it was mentioned in the notes that Nabi worshipped the Lord in Badrikashram with austerities capable of bringing results for the happiness of all beings, and he attained Vaikuntha. So, like in Vanaprastha order also, does someone endeavors for happiness of all beings? Because it's generally we consider Vanaprastha as a stage of detachment, na Prabhuji. So
See,
one goes
simple.
more within.
Don't see like that. See, he is a person who went to Badrikashram, performed Vanaprastha duties very nicely, and went back to Godhead. He had established that this process works. Anyone and everyone can follow in his footsteps and can come back to Godhead. That does not bring happiness to everyone. Don't think that happiness means happiness is here only. यहाँ पे happiness के लिए वो प्रयास कर रहे नहीं. He is establishing a process following which everyone can go back to Godhead. Then they will experience unlimited happiness.
Okay.
So it's like that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Other devotees?
And Prabhuji, if you allow, there's one more small doubt. Like in the this chapter itself, fifth chapter, 18th verse, purport, it says that Shukracharya was not a pure devotee, and he was more or less inclined to fruitive activities. And he objected when Bali Maharaj promised to give everything to Lord Vishnu. So if it is like that, then why in the like 10th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Lord says na kavina mushana kavihi. So in which are vanta or those who are thoughtful people, that kavi. So among them I am Shukracharya.
That is correct, na? Lord Krishna did not say that among the devotees I am this. Shukracharya is not a devotee. Why you want to combine both? Among the
No,
great thinkers, he is Ushana Kavi. He is a great intellectual person. Shukracharya is a great intellectual person. He has that Mritu Sanjeevani Vidya with him. Even Brihaspati did not have. In order to learn that, Devata sent Brihaspati's son, Kacha, to learn from Shukracharya. He is a great knowledgeable person. He is a Sakama Karma Yogi.
Oh, he's Sakama Karma Yogi. Okay, so among those kind of people who are Sakam Karma Yogi but having lot of powers and siddhis like that, that is a lot.
Ushana Kavi. Yeah,
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for all the devotees for joining today.